Hi Cancer, and welcome to your May predictions reading. This reading is a general prediction looking at the month of May. It is intended for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Risings, or those who have strong Cancer placements in their chart. If you are not a Cancer, but you're here cross-watching and checking on your favorite Cancer or someone that you're interested in with Cancer placements, you're more than welcome to stay. I just need you to know that I'm a very honest reader, so you may hear or see something that you do not like. Let's get into it, Cancer. The first thing that I'm going to do for you is pull a card from this oracle deck, which will tell us the main theme that your sign can expect to experience in the month of May. We've got that pretty quick, so let's see what came out for you. We have natural agate, so some earthy energy here. Natural agate in this deck is associated with the number 2, the planet of Venus. We have the heart chakra and this interesting yoga pose, very stretchy, crossed-legged. So there's a lot of grounding here. There's a strong connection to your immune system as well, taking care of your vessel, looking after your body. There's just an overall healing energy with this natural agate, very grounded. I feel like May could be a slower month for you, Cancer, or it could just be about taking a more simpler approach, keeping things simple, especially with that number 2 in Venus. It makes me think that you don't need to extend too much of your compassionate nature. In May, you really just need to focus on yourself and your immediate loved ones. I feel like you can't tell a Cancer to focus completely on themselves because they get so much gratification from helping their loved ones. So I do believe with that number 2 that it is also about contributing affection towards those nearest and dearest to you, but I would strongly encourage you keep it close. I'm not seeing you needing to go further than that. In fact, I feel like many of you may experience divine intervention in this month that could slow you down and force you to spend a lot more time at home and just hanging out, recharging, focusing on healing. Regardless, I'm getting a strong message of love, compassion, and just like that real hands-on support. It feels really close. So let's have a look at what Tarot has to tell us. We're going to break down the month week by week now, focusing on that first week for you, Cancer. What can Cancer expect in week 1 of May? Okay, things are happening very fast for you. All these cards are coming out so much quicker than the other signs. We have the 10 of Pentacles reversed for the first week of May. This is saying that there could be some friction in the family unit. 10 of Pentacles reversed is almost immediately makes me think of your family, if not your career. This makes me think of anything that you would consider to be a legacy in this lifetime. So for that to be reversed, there could be issues there that we need to address in the first week. I want to kind of clarify that and have a look at what your challenge will be in that first week, and that'll give me a better understanding of what's going on here. What's happening in the first week for Cancer, please, Spirit? Something is not going according to plan. Miscommunication as well, could be friction between family members. We're being shown the Hanged One reverse. So this is the Hanged Man. That is saying that someone thinks they're right, another person thinks they're wrong. To be honest with you, somebody is not embracing the other person's point of view, and it's leading to this feeling of being very stuck, not being able to move forward because someone is refusing to see things the other way. I feel like you're dealing with someone who is like this. I hope it's not you. I've got to account for the fact that I'm reading for a lot of people, but it just feels like someone is very stubborn. The challenge here is seeing things from another perspective and being open to understanding things in their shoes. But with that card reversed, there's a stuck, stubborn energy here that you're dealing with in the first week. It feels like it's either someone in your workplace or your family. To be honest, you had plans, and I feel like this person either didn't account for your plans or something did not go according to plan in this situation, and it's led to a breakdown in communication. And I feel like in that first week, the challenge here is seeing things from their perspective, moving forward, and just being able to kind of deal with that breakdown in communication. That you could be dealing with someone who really kind of just shuts down and prefers to kind of remove themselves from the circumstance instead of communicate with you and offer you their side of the story fully. I want to get some advice for you in this first week. What's happening here in terms of advice for Cancer in the first week of May? We got two cards. We have Venom and we have the Maiden. These two cards couldn't be any more different. And I think this is because Cancers, in my opinion, every sign has like a breakdown. You could have up to 4 different archetypes in one sign, but that you kind of liken Cancers to those that are born in June versus July. So take it as it resonates, but we have the Venom and the Maiden coming out for you. So this feels like do you really want to provoke the lion type of energy? Is it worth fighting for? Is it worth fighting about? Is it really worth it? There's 2 approaches you could take to the situation in week 1. The first one with the Maiden is very soft, nurturing, patient. The second one is attacking, defensive, very inflammatory. So I want to say that obviously each has their own repercussions. Taking the more patient route means that you're going to give more than probably this person because they're so stuck and stubborn. It's almost like you got to balance the two. You want to kind of bring a reason into the situation for this person to communicate, but you don't want to waste energy trying to wait for them to communicate either. So it's an interesting mix of the two, I feel. Being patient, compassionate, understanding, but also putting a bit of heat on the situation and really almost provoking the other person to talk and open up. It's very interesting. The Venom is not my ideal advice card, to be honest with you. I wouldn't usually use that as advice, but I guess it just depends on the circumstance and the person that you're dealing with. So you have 2 options there, or you could mix the 2 with that situation. We're going to move forward to week 2 now. What is going on for Cancer in week 2 of May? They're showing me the King of Pentacles in the reverse position. So have a look at this. He is a chariot rider in this deck, the Prince of the Chariot of Earth. So one of your cards in tarot is the Chariot, so very interesting. I see in this deck here, well, in this week, why am I getting confused by decks now? Cancer, in week 2, that card was reversed, excuse me. You've got a lot of insecurity around your material world in this month already. And I think that in week 2, it's exacerbated by this either desire to progress further than your situation is allowing you to, or you could be dealing with someone who, like a boss or a manager or maybe a significant other if they're an earth sign, who is placing unrealistic expectations on you. This King of Pentacles feels like we're not happy with where we're at when it comes to our resources, our money, our income. We're not happy with what we are able to afford, what we are able to work with, and it feels like you're trying to either make some sort of purchase, or you're trying to just figure out how much money you have to work with in that second week, and you don't feel happy about it with that card being reversed. But with the King of Pentacles being there, it's almost like we're paying for something that was previously done before. So it makes me think of like when you what's the word, when you take time off of work and you get paid on a salary, and you know that if you take that leave without pay, like you're going to get given a shorter pay, but you won't feel the financial repercussions until the fortnight after. That's what it feels like. It's like a sacrifice here, and it feels like the sacrifice is one way, like you're taking the sacrifice and you're losing, but somebody else isn't. Somebody else may even be winning. It's interesting. If not, you're maybe making this happen and putting somebody else in that position. But I just think that week we're a bit insecure around our resources. We're feeling it financially. We also feel like we don't have the autonomy and independence that we want when it comes to our material world, which is why it feels like your finances are the first thing you think of. Like, I want to be able to do this, but I don't have the money to. I want to be able to go there, but I don't have the money to. You know, it's like you want more autonomy, more control, more independence over your material world, and you're feeling it because you don't seem to have the resources to back that scheme or that plan. So what is the challenge here in week 2, Spirit? The challenge here is the Ace of Pentacles, creating new opportunities for yourself, Cancer, in the second week. The challenge here is sowing your seeds appropriately and investing your money appropriately. Creating new opportunities, investing in new opportunities, because the Ace of Pentacles isn't just about, you know, this fantastic idea forming in our lives fully fledged. We have to almost create it. We're given the seed, we have to grow it, basically. So I do believe that a challenge in week 2 is you are, first of all, identifying the problem, right? But the solution is also the challenge. You've got to try to create another opportunity for you in order to account for this lack of control or autonomy or resources. So what is the advice here in week 2 for Cancer when it comes to May? Some of you, this is actually looking like applying for a different job because your current role is not paying the bills, or it simply isn't practical. Maybe you have to catch 2 trains to get to work, you know, and that public transport cost is already eating into that income. It's just not, you know, practical. It could be that. But your advice here is the Village. So I see with the Village being the advice, you may get the answers from someone around you. Think of old acquaintances or old workmates or kind of people you haven't spoken to regularly but who you know you could ring up tomorrow and get support from. I think with the Village as advice, it makes me think like it takes many hands to raise a child, like that village mentality. And I think that in this situation, your challenge, you could be gaining an opportunity in terms of your income from somebody that you know, creating an idea or working off an idea or taking on a new role, making money from someone that you know. So stay open to that and ask around, be honest. It takes a certain level of humility to be honest about your finances, but I think that if it's as simple as I want to earn more money, you know, people don't need to know what the heck's going on behind closed doors. You may find some interesting advice from the people that you know. So let's move into week 3 now. What is happening in week 3 for Cancer? Very quick, these messages. We have the Magician coming out for you. So some Mercury energy here, strong Virgo energy in your reading, by the way. But now we've got some Gemini joining the table. So I see with the Magician, week 3 is kind of about building your confidence, your self-esteem, and helping you believe in your ideas again. Communication is key in week 3 for you, only because it's about getting what you want from that situation, and you need to be able to communicate effectively in the sense of you need to be able to kind of finesse the situation to work in your favor, use the right words, paint the right picture, tell the right story. It sounds manipulative, but I feel like something big is brewing here in week 3 for you, and it could be the answer to your financial troubles. I think that you have a way with words, Cancer, and this is making me think that it's not what you do, it's more who you know. So if you get to have a conversation with somebody who you know could help you in your kind of material woes, whether this is completely financial or whether it has some stuff to do with your family, open up and say what you can to make the most out of that opportunity. So what is the challenge in week 3, please, Spirit? 9 of Cups coming out. The challenge is actually embracing this opportunity as a selfish quest, something that is good for you, something that you need to focus on and do for yourself, and seeing it as a self-fulfilling thing rather than a selfish act. Kind of changing the language there and using more positive language to do something good for yourself here. I think that you're slipping into that habit in May of putting other things in front of yourself, and because you do have genuine stress and pressure here in your material world. But by week 3, your challenge is really prioritizing your own fulfillment, your own happiness, and doing this in a way where it's self-fulfilling, not selfish, you know, so that you can kind of reconcile with giving yourself an extra 30 minutes to yourself in the afternoons, you know, or if you're really busy, just making allowances to take care of yourself here, or speaking up for yourself here, doing it because you know it's going to make you happier. Can we get advice here for Cancer in week 3, please, Spirit? My gosh, you have the Offering as your advice. So I do believe here, Cancer, that with the Offering, The advice in week 3 has a lot to do with you extending and reaching out, connecting, extending yourself, extending gestures towards people. This has to do with getting yourself out of a bit of a hole that you seem to have been in week 2 especially, but it also has to do with you getting the right message out there and communicating your truth. And I think that this is also going to make you happy. A lot of the Cancers, I know I may be stereotyping here, but there's like an extroverted butterfly social energy that you have, and I don't see you honoring that at the start of May. I see halfway through May you craving more of that, and you getting the chance to do that by extending a gesture or just reaching out to people. Your advice here is to offer yourself in some way, and with the Magician it feels like you're communicating, offer communication, reaching out, connecting. I don't see you giving advice. I see you communicating and conversating in order to get information, if that makes sense. So we're going to move forward to week 4 now. What is happening here in week 4 for Cancer, the 4th week of May? Okay, we have the King of Wands coming out in the upright position, so that's exciting. The King of Wands is talking about plans and schemes. In the upright, this is quite an ambitious energy. This is someone who is a go-getter, looking forward to something, has inspiration, feeling creative, wants to express themselves. So in that 4th week of May, you could be planning something. It could even be travel, because I'm seeing the Prince of the Chariot of Fire. All the kings are chariots, princes of chariots in this deck, but it feels like you're planning something, some kind of movement here. It could be an event. This is going to be like a creative outlet in a way, give you an opportunity to express yourself. And the King of Wands in this deck is actually ruled by Cancer and the South Node, so it kind of, North Node, not the South Node. So it kind of feels like you have this line of sight that you're focused on, almost like a sense of purpose and direction, and your reason for doing this is very much about you. So this could be like you're just feeling passionate and excited about a new interest, but it feels bigger than that. Can we clarify what the challenge is in that 4th week? This will help us understand what this is pertaining to exactly. We have the King of Pentacles again reversed. So this could be your spouse that's holding you back. This could be someone who is depleting your resources, but they keep coming up and they are standing in the way of you chasing after the ambition that you want. And why am I saying that a spouse would hold you back? It's mostly because you guys are disagreeing about what you want to build, what you want to invest your resources towards, and what you want to focus on, what your future is looking like. There is a disagreement here with someone who is like you would consider a person of authority, and you're not on the same page with them. So this should be more of like a partnership working together towards a common goal. And despite them feeling like a person of authority as well, it's more that they command such a presence in our life. And instead of working with us, they seem to be working against us here. They have different expectations, and that's making us doubt our ability to pull this off as well. Again, another challenge here in week 4 could simply be your finances again, your resources, or feeling limited by your career. Maybe work's not letting you take any more time off, but you're trying to cultivate this side hustle, and you're trying to plan this family event. So whatever it is, you're dealing with practical restrictions here, and it feels like either a difference of expectations or simply a limited amount of resources. What is the advice here in week 4 for Cancer? What is the advice in week 4 for Cancer? Okay, we have the Bridge. So I feel like this whole month is really testing your compassion, your kindness, and your partnerships, only because the people that you have around you are loving and loyal. I just think that we're not on the same page with them when it comes to our material pursuits. I believe with the Bridge card in the 4th week of May, you're being called to again extend a gesture. It feels like you're playing peacemaker constantly in most of your connections, and with whoever this is, whatever's going on here, there is a solution. You can get what you want. You can stay motivated and focused towards this big plan, but it's almost like you have to bridge that by bridging the expectations or bridging the resources. For some of you, this is about borrowing if you are limited on resources, and being clear that it is borrowing in the sense of like, when I have it, I will pay you back. But for others of you, it feels like we have to bridge somebody's expectations of us here in the 4th week as we become ambitious and start to want to create more and expand more and move forward. It feels like you have to kind of be a bit more communicative and expressive about the process and kind of help this person who's very unsure of where things are going understand what's happening along the way, because this person does feel stubborn. They feel stuck, very Taurus energy. I know I was picking up on Virgo. Virgo's even worse because this is somebody who is so used to sticking to a calculated plan of routine that they're not expecting anything to change, whereas Taurus just gets a bit comfortable and stuck and stubborn. So regardless, I see you working through that. You kind of need to just bridge that gap, whether that's more communication to help people set more realistic expectations, or whether this is just about borrowing in order to make this happen, and finding multiple solutions, because 9 times out of 10 that first try is not going to work. I'm seeing 3 attempts here. Do you see the rainbow? 3 attempts in order to bridge that gap of expectations or differences. So Cancer, that's what I'm seeing for you when it comes to the month of May. I hope this has been a helpful reading. I hope the advice resonates more as the month progresses as well. You may have messages in your sun, moon, rising, or other aspects of your natal chart. It's been a pleasure to read for you, Cancer. I hope you have a prosperous, abundant May, and I shall connect with you very, very soon. Bye.